anything can happen. A player can be here one day and over here the next day, and committed to this team one day and want to be traded. Like, you just never know. But just like what teams players play for is fragile, is also you can go from being a non-playoff team to being in the finals.
Right.
And I think that's the part that people look past. Is like, oh, we lost in the first round. We got to go in a different direction. This coach, he got out-coached in the conference finals. He got to get fired. Like, sometimes when you stick it out, it's like it pay off for you that way. True to, like, sometimes you got to take your lumps.
Yeah.
You got to wait your time, and then your time going to come when you least expect it. Like, that's what I believe. So when we lose.
Says a man who lived it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Dame, thank you so much for coming on with us. Let's lift you from the
dollars
court.
with an S.
Go back and watch your team, the
That's
Blazers.
multiple dollars.
Hey, just let me owe $2,500.
I was going to say, he's not Dame Dollar anymore. He's Dame $200 million.
It might be $400.
They put your business on these streets. Hold on.
Kawhi Leonard was still on the Spurs. In the time since, we have seen Raptors president Masai Ujiri throw his reputation, the goodwill of Toronto's fans, his franchise's best star into the center of the table, only to have that huge gamble pay off with a jackpot title that, man, echoed through the streets. And then to have his fortune turn again this week as Kawhi left town for good. Or how about Thunder GM Sam Presti, who thought he'd scored the ultimate winning hand last summer when his huge gamble on Paul George seemed to pay off, only to discover, well, this summer the cards he was holding weren't as strong as he thought. Couldn't keep Paul George after all. And now Russell Westbrook is also reportedly on the trading block too. You can expect to hear a lot of speculation over the next few days over exactly why Paul asked for this trade, whether he was unhappy with Russ. Paul tried to put all of that to a halt last night. He used this tweet echoing Jalen Rose, saying he's not here for any Westbrook slander. He also appeared in this IG story.
Come with me to LA. Where we going, cuz? We coming home. We coming home.
You know, that really tells you everything you need to know, that this had a lot less to do with who he was leaving behind and a lot more to do with who he was going to and where he was going. You know, PG idolized Kobe as a kid, but he actually grew up a Clippers fan, and he now gets to play for his team in front of his friends and families. I mean, look at these two babies in that picture going against each other. Come on. Of course, now Kawhi has grown into not just a two-time Finals MVP and a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, but the man who spent this week making Paul feel wanted, heavily recruiting him, according to Ramona Shelburne. You know, Ramona was actually on the jump a few days ago talking about Kawhi calling Kevin Durant last week to try to team up, and how that was a red alert sign that the Clippers would likely have to acquire a second star in order to land Kawhi, possibly using the war chest of trade assets that they have built up over this past year. And my reaction then was the same as it is now, that there is no price too high for the Clippers, and it was still worth it for the Clippers. Because it's not really just a trade of assets for Paul George, it's a trade for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Just like when the Lakers gave up that whole bonanza for Anthony Davis. It wasn't really just a trade for AD. It was a trade for AD and the maximized version of LeBron James. A version of LeBron you just weren't going to get unless you teamed him up with another superstar. And now, well, both LA franchises are all in, having mortgaged their futures for a seat at the high roller table. And why not, really, right? GMs around the league have watched, and they've seen what all the Celtics, right? Careful, methodical, play-it-safe planning got for them. Or how the Warriors built one of the best rosters of all time, and it still wasn't enough to keep KD. Simply nothing about the future is guaranteed in this league anymore. So why not push in all your chips and live like there's no tomorrow? It's what they do here in Las Vegas, and I would bet we're going to see a lot more of that for years to come. Perk, when you think about what the Clippers did here, how much they gave up, and who they now have on this roster, because it's Kawhi, it's Paul George, and by the way, also Pat Beverly, the defense alone on that team is going to be insane.
It's crazy. They're going to set records defensively. I tweeted last night, I wouldn't be surprised if they averaged 30 steals a game. This is something that we might not ever see in a lifetime with these three defensive guys, but you got to give a lot of credit to the Clippers, first of all. But you got to give a lot of credit to Kawhi and his uncle, by the way. Kawhi is starting to become a major player in this league. I said today he's more. I compared him to MJ on the court just because of the way he plays. But now with this power move that he made to force a key guy to go to his organization, to force them to trade him, now he's doing things that LeBron James do off the court. And Kawhi is saying to the world, hey man, I'm here. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I can make power moves. I'm controlling this. Not only did he do that, he went against one of the best franchises ever in the San Antonio Spurs. Nobody ever went to war with the Spurs. He did, and it turned out best for him. That speaks volumes, and I think Kawhi is starting to find his swag, and he's starting to consider himself as really one of those top guys. Hey, when you mention LeBron, when you mention Kevin Durant, you better mention me second.
That's right. Nick Friedel, by the way, joining us as well. You don't look like Damian Lillard. So
I wish I had his bank account.
I should have pointed that out right off the jump as we came back from the break. What do you make, because you've been covering the Warriors this past year, you saw that dynasty